Hi, I'm Kathy with Tax Magic Podcast. Hey, I'm here today to talk about the $10 billion lawsuit. Well, apparently there are a lot of $10 billion lawsuits, or at least three current ones, or more current ones. The president sued CBS and Paramount Global for $10 billion a while back, and then raised it to $20 billion over a 60 minutes interview with Kamala Harris. It settled in July of 2025 for $16 million. That's a far cry from his $20 billion that he thought he was owed. However, kudos to him, I think, as the funds were allocated to the future presidential library. However, CBS did not apologize. There were other concessions, but those were not monetary. So, more recently, he had a $10 billion, there it is again, the $10 billion number, against the Wall Street Journal for defamation due to the reporting of his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. On April 13th, just a week or so ago, it was dismissed. The judge ruled that Trump failed to prove the article was published with actual malice. Well, Trump's legal team has stated that they would refile an amended version of the complaint because it's a powerhouse lawsuit. In my humble opinion, that'll be a fascinating fictional read or fictional filing, because powerhouse means something different to them than it does to me. How can you say it was defamation when it's produced in that birthday book showing it was his signature? Many years ago, it didn't just pop up. So, again, it's going to be a fun fictional filing to read if they do it. So, now to the lawsuit that's most interesting to me. The one where he filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS for that contractor leaking his information, causing great harm and defamation of his name. But it's all true. So again, I don't know how you can defame somebody with the truth. I read the lawsuit, or I read his tax return, and there are things in it that are totally legit. There are things in it that they shouldn't have been able to do, but that was a whole nother rant I did. Refer back to it if you want to hear what's actually in it. But that $10 billion lawsuit about the tax records, it's still active, but it's facing some legal hurdles, and I'm glad to hear that, because a federal judge recently questioned whether the case can proceed since Trump is now the sitting president and effectively controls both sides of litigation. That's what I've been saying. The judge gave a deadline to the Department of Justice to explain in writing by May 20th how the court can oversee a case that lacks legitimate adversarial disputes. In other words, how can he fucking sue himself? The settlement talks they are in, apparently both sides have agreed to do settlement discussions to resolve the matter and requested a 90-day extension to avoid protracted litigation. I don't see how they can decide on a settlement when our government shouldn't pay him a damn dime on it. That's my humble opinion. More my humble opinion. This is the one I scratch my ass over. How can his Treasury Secretary tell him no? He is the ultimate yes man, so there's no way that will happen voluntarily. The courts are going to have to tell him no. And will they do that? I think if it gets to the judge, it will. However, when they take it up to the Supreme Court, they may overturn it. Probability is they will. I think a legitimate lawsuit's fine. This one isn't legitimate. It's a bunch of crap. And I'm going to have to calm down a little bit so I can, be non-biased. My non-biased view is that it's very difficult to sue yourself. I can't do it. Can you? And if you do, who pays? Well, in this case, we will. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. Fair is irrelevant, though, I hear. So, we're going to take you from tax tragic to tax magic, because the more you know, the less you owe. However, you may be paying more if he wins this $10 billion lawsuit, because he's already sent billions to Venezuela and here and there, and I want to keep some of my money. So, should you want to keep some of yours as well? So, have a great night. Stay tuned. Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe. Look at me go.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice of any kind. Always consult with your tax professional. Be sure to read this full disclosure. Listener discretion is advised.